I was waiting for you to talk.
Gary was the lead.
No, 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 no,
I was
no.
about to get up and start doing my
Salad.
I'm like obsessed with this little dance that Chris Brown does on the video that I've been seeing on TikTok.
Let me tell you something funny that happened over the weekend. Real
Do
quick.
share.
I'm listening.
So my boyfriend and I took his grand
Okay.
to a little activity jungle gym kind of situation, and they're 6 and 8. So we were walking by a group of girls and their little kids, and I heard somebody say, "Grandma swole." So I turned around.
Where's the grandma?
I turned around looking for grandma, right? And I'm like, and I saw them girls that was looking at me.
Yeah.
I was like, "Grandma."
Oh my gosh. Grandma.
And
Oh my gosh.
I've never been referred to as that.
Oh my gosh.
It's a progression though, because and I just talked about this on Facebook, and I hate to segue off, but like now everyone refers to me, "What's up, big Unc." But soon, at some point, that's going to transition to pops.
Yeah, because of the gray, and it depends who you're talking to. Like, little kids, I can understand.
And eventually, that's going to morph into grandpops.
Mm-hmm.
G-pops, what up?
Right.
So I'm sorry, I took us off course there.
No, it's the same thing. Just,
Yeah.
Just different gender. But I was just like, "Grandma."
Ooh, where she at?
I gotta get used to that.
That's hilarious.
It comes at you fast, so
Yes, it does. Oops. Yeah. Okay. So it's Tuesday. Hi, everybody.
Hi, thank you for tuning in.
Back.
We are talking about. Before we get started, we need to let you know our next in-person event for September. The date is September 28th.
It is. It's a Saturday, guys.
We will let you know the time and place. So
But you write that in your
save that date.
Yes, in
September
your calendars.
28th.
Save the date. Save the date. It is going to be again a great time.
Yes. Yes,
Especially
it will.
if it's anything like last
Oh my
month.
goodness.
That was just not last month. It was actually July, wasn't it? End of July.
Yes.
Yeah. Wasn't it?
Yeah. All the parents are taking their kids back to college and stuff. So yeah.
Last bit of vacations, family vacations in
Mhm.
August.
Yeah.
But we're ready to hit it again in September. So the 28th.
Keep turning the fan on. Thank you. You guys, I'm 50 something. Maybe I am a grandma because I'm about to melt.
Are you hot?
Yes, I'm
Oh,
hot.
good.
Yes.
So we are talking
you.
about dating opportunists. Dating people who are opportunists.
I think that happens way more than people realize.
Mm-hmm.
Just give it a little time. Just give it a little time.
So, these are very organic conversations, and sometimes they're, Janae and I might be on the phone or I'm asking Gary his thoughts on something, and we're just talking about, and we were having a conversation about people, like there's a whole lot of scam artists these days, and people are complaining on social media about meeting scam artists. There are whole Facebook sites
Yes,
that are dedicated to being scammed. And so that's how this week came about with this conversation.
Yeah. When we say like groups dedicated to this kind of thing, it's maybe 10 posts a day with a site that has 80,000 people subscribe.
That's right.
Yeah.
Sure.
So that's and 8 may be a very like conservative number.
Yeah.
It could be a lot more. That's what I see pop across
Right.
my screen. But legitimately, these people are like scam artists. These people are truly
People posting pictures of who to beware of.
yeah.
Don't date this person.
Yeah. He's
It's
gonna
amazing.
he's gonna tell you that, he's a pilot, but really he's,
Right.
unemployed. He's gonna say he's never been married, but he's got 3 wives and 18 kids and 7 baby mamas, that kind of thing.
So one of the things that I've seen that all these posts and these people have in common when they're dating these opportunistic people is that they are all love bombed. The person who is the opportunist, they start with all this loving behavior, this compliments, and they are very generous. And you want this? Oh yeah, that's who I am. Oh, this is the type of person you're looking for. That's who I am. Because they want you to fall for them. They want you to trust them because they have an ulterior motive.
And you aren't gonna catch a fish though with a dead worm.
No, you're not.
It has to be moving, so, I mean,
I
it's
think
gotta be
it's
tantalizing to some degree.
I think it's always existed in some form. I think that we hear a lot more about it, and we all knew someone that, let's just I'll throw men under the bus on this one. There was a guy who needed a place to stay, and he ended up dating this woman, and he kind of hung around. And I mean, ironically, I have a family member, and I don't want to say who it is,
No,
but my family member was dating this man, and nothing about this dude was what it was supposed to be. He was, he was supposed to have played in the NFL, and
see, that's too easy to check out.
but this is pre-internet,
Okay, so you gotta get an encyclopedia.
right? So and I mean, you can play, to play in the NFL, you could have played 3 games, and technically you played in
Or
the
just
NFL.
at the bench.
Or just sat on the bench.
Yes.
Just been
Yeah.
on the team. That's true.
Or
You just didn't play.
you were playing for somewhere that wasn't winning. You were like a patriot when it wasn't good to be a patriot or whatever. So he wasn't. He didn't play professional football. He didn't play football in college either. And he was supposed to be a pilot and flying planes. And come to find out, he was loading the luggage on us. So he did work with planes. He just did not
He
fly.
was a I won't say just.
He was a ramp agent.
Yeah.
And so, that type of stuff, I've heard about things like that my whole life. People doing stuff, people perpetrating stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But now with the internet, you hear about it, and there's a little get back because a person can say, well, not this one. Here's his picture. Here's his information.
Yeah.
Here's where his mama stay. So I think that the internet in that way, it spreads information more.
So, I mean, for me, like, an opportunist in this respect is probably the extreme of opportunist. Like, the person who is just a complete fraud, lying about their identity and names and employment and what they did, where they lived and all that. I think that is just like you are probably more than an opportunist. You're probably a narcissist. You're probably insane, or maybe
it's a little
a criminal.
crossover with narcissistic people and
At that point, you probably,
opportunists. Yeah.
has broken some laws. But if we dumb it down a little bit, we've talked about this before. Like, we have friends, we know people who can easily ask a man for money. You nor me know how to do that. Like, we didn't grow up like, okay, we're gonna get him to get this, and we're gonna get our hair done, we're gonna get our nails done. Like, I wouldn't even know how to ask those questions. Like, I wouldn't even know how to, it's just not how I was raised.
Right.
And so, but I know people, every relationship that they're in, they get
That's
designer
fair enough.
stuff.
Yeah.
Gucci bags. I got this Louis Vuitton, I got these red bottoms, I got this. But they ask for it. And I'm always amazed that women could just do that. And I'm thinking, like, what do men feel when a woman would just ask them for either money or a big ticket item like that? And don't get me wrong, I realize that if you're in a relationship and she's doing other things that may be meaningful in your life, you may go like, oh, sure, you deserve that.
And there's nothing wrong with being gifted those things.
Right.
I mean,
But
women
maybe
love
is there
gifts,
different-
but to just walk into a relationship
And ask for it.
but that's your whole goal. Like, I need to.
What does that make a man
Yeah.
feel like?
It's a couple ways you could look at it. I mean, you could look at the gift as a medium of exchange. I'm giving you this for this.
Transaction.
So you have the transactional relationship.
Yes. it can be, some people feel better about themselves because they did something. And some people just, they're givers. I'm a giver. I like to give. So, it can be interpreted a lot of different ways. I think it's individual how a person feels about themselves and how they want to treat, their woman, wife, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's you can feel like, okay, I'm doing a big thing. I'm giving her money. My baby got to look good for me.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could look like, okay, man, you get them red bottoms, but I'm gonna be knocking bottoms. I'm gonna be trying to knock the bottom out. I'm getting my money back. I'm getting my money's worth. So it can be a lot of different ways, and it's right now culturally, or not culturally, but generationally, younger women, in my opinion, or what has been my experience, are just much more predisposed to asking.
They are.
And they come into it like, before you can even get my number, you got to take me shopping. I take you to get something to eat.
Okay, well, we're not dating outside our decade. We talking about grandmas, apparently.
But as in his age bracket, those women are aggressive.
Yeah, and there's.
Would you look differently if someone my age asked you for it,
That's a
even
good
though
question.
I'm not predisposed to that behavior, like the young girl is?
It depends on where I was situationally. If I was.
No, I to change any context. I want the
Now.
same situation.
Go ahead.
I want the same situation as that young girl
Mm-hmm.
who's predisposed, that you didn't really give it this much thought. If it were me, not me, but someone my age, and I came
like
to you, right?
Girl, you
Let's
get
compare
whatever you
apples
want.
to
It's
apples,
my
right?
my
She-
gas station
She's a
card.
good-looking grandma, right? She's old, right?
Spoiled grandma.
Spoiled grandma, right?
I can picture you two looking around like, where is she?
Where is she?
Right, okay.
Do you look at me different? Do you look at like you should be able to have your own by now? Why are you asking me?
It depends. Well, number one, do I have it?
Mhm.
That's before anything. I don't mind giving to somebody. You got to pay to play. That's kind of how this
But
goes.
you had an ex or somebody I think you dated who asked you for money for breast augmentation.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you feel about that? Is she in our age bracket?
Mhm.
And how did that make you? How did you feel about that?
I felt like that was well. First of all, I felt like it was unnecessary. I felt like, man, that's not something that I want to do. That's not something I want to pay for.
Yeah.
And if you, because I have my own thoughts about breast augmentation.
Mhm.
So that's not something that I would want to pay for.
So if she hadn't told you what it was for and she just asked you for the money.
You ain't gonna get you ain't gonna get no comma money from me, and you ain't told me what
Oh,
it's
I didn't know
for.
she was asking for the whole thing. I thought she was just asking.
It don't matter. You can. What you need? $50 on it? No, you breast
I thought
augmentation.
she was asking for.
You need at least if you get help, it's a minimum a G. It's
That's true.
$1,000 buy-in.
That's true.
It's $1,000 buy-in.
That's true. She's probably asking for at least 1,000.
So you didn't really answer my question yet. I know you're getting to it. Do you look at
Yes, I would look at you differently
because I'm older?
because you're asking me for money. It wouldn't matter how old you were.
So then you wouldn't look at her differently.
I would look at
Because
her
you said the younger girls off the GP, they're just predisposed to being able to ask.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't. Do they get a pass for asking, but I don't because I'm old?
No, they don't get a pass. I'm looking at them funny. I'm looking at everybody asking me for money differently. I'm not. Nobody gets a pass. Nobody is grandfathered in or grandmothered in. No, you asking me for money. I'm like, that's interesting. Wow.
So let me ask this follow-up question because
Yes, ma'am.
I had a brief conversation with a married couple,
Mm-hmm.
and the husband said, okay, so maybe the first time it's like, yeah, no problem, but if he starts to feel like this is a like repetitive kind of situation where you're just
Like I'm the wallet.
yeah, then he said because in his mind he the script and making transactional, but you will not be this special person anymore. It would just, in his mind, be very transactional. So you might be thinking, oh, he really loves me, he's doing all this, he's really into me. And in his mind, he's put you very much so in a common box with anybody else. Not that, oh, you're beautiful and flowery and I just want to,
Cherish this
make you
relationship.
happy and no.
Not that anymore.
Yeah, you put
So
yourself
now
in
I'm
a different
paying for
category.
the goods. I'm paying for the cookies. 'Cause,
Yep. 100%
Yeah.
is how you felt about that.
Interesting.
But they both, this couple did say, the dynamic of the relationship has a lot to do with how a man may feel.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if she needed help, helping someone and a handout is two different things.
Totally agree.
So your car is down, you need your car to get to work, you gotta get, you got other responsibilities. Sure, I can help you get your car fixed.
Or get you a car.
Or get you a car.
Yeah.
Whatever, but that's something that's helping you
Yeah.
to live and thrive.
Exactly. Right.
The breast augmentation may not be, unless you are some supermodel, and maybe this is, you're an actress and you're, So maybe in that respect, but in his mind and their mind, it just depends on the relationship. So how you may handle me may not be how you may handle that. How old was she? 30-year-old, I don't even know. 30-year-old, because the relationship dynamic is different from the get-go.
It definitely, to answer your earlier question yet again, it definitely changes the way that I look at you, because now I'm kind of, it's not a red flag, but it's a yellow flag. I'm proceeding with caution at that point. And and if I determine, it's not a deal breaker. I could still be around you. I just got to figure out if I can afford it or not.
Yeah.
So it's not, I'm not that guy that I'm not giving you nothing. But when you ask for something, and I'm the kind of guy that if I saw that you needed something and I could do it, I would. You wouldn't have to ask. Mm-hmm. If I'm dating you, if I'm into you, however that goes.
Yeah. Some people are very private though. Just to put that in. They are opportunists, but some people just don't feel comfortable with asking for help. So it would take somebody who has a very discerning eye to say, I see a need, let me address that need for you.
Is an opportunist always looking for money? Are they always looking for the money come up? Sometimes they're looking for other things.
Mm-hmm.
Well, definitely.
Job stability. They may be like, I want to sleep with so and so because
climb my way to the top.
Yeah, I can climb my way to the top, or
I need a place to stay.
I need a place to stay, or I want to be with so and so in public because this person makes me look good.
Status.
I know people that have dated people because they wanted to run around in that person's circles.
I know people like that. Just
Yeah.
in friend groups.
I
want to befriend you so I can get to know your friends.
Yeah. So they date or they go out.
Yeah. So and opportunists, and even though we're talking about dating and opportunists, but I do know a few people who consciously make an effort to be friends with certain people because they see those people are very well plugged.
Seek them out.
Yeah, and they seek them out. I've even heard people say, I want to be friends with X and Y and Z, and then they seek to befriend them.
Mm-hmm.
So opportunists are.
But then once they don't need you anymore, they may discard you and keep your golden nuggets.
Know that person too. Yeah.
Well, I'm blessed that I'm not really rich or well off.
Financially. Because you are well off. You are rich.
Okay, but
and other things.
But the competition, the opportunists get bigger and stronger the higher you go up the ladder. The more that you have of value to them, the greater the competition that you receive. This little $200 and $300 stuff I'm on, I'm good with $200 and $300 competition. But if it were some $1 million stuff, like to be a very famous or very wealthy person, I think that the level of competition goes up. I think that you have a wider audience of people that are looking to capitalize on the opportunities that they think that they see.
And that could be good and bad.
Mostly bad.
I mean, opportunities, the word opportunity is not a bad word. It's the opportunist who makes it a bad thing. And opportunity is something that we all look for, you know. Um, Conversations overheard was a great opportunity, you know what I mean? Could there be an opportunist that came and tried to infiltrate the family circle? Well, then that person would be an opportunist. But
So opportunists would be like conversations overheard featuring Gary and them.
correct. Those two, right?
Them two, let me always say.
Them chicks and grandmas.
Gary and his lovelies. So no, I mean,
It's lovely. Gary's angels.
Wait, are we the pips now?
I didn't want to use that term. I mean,
I'm dancing. But yeah, you know, they're not always like, you know, like stranger danger isn't always, you know, the creep with the trench coat, like, you know, hey little girl, I have something for. They're not that. They look like you and I, and you never know what people are after. So, and you say, you know, you're glad you're not rich. You are, but I will say this for you. I think your muscles of discernment are very strong. You flex those muscles. I know mine are, and they've gotten stronger with the more people that I meet, and I'm just kind of like, I mean, like really, when I figure out what people are on, I shut the shit down immediately. And it's because I've met a few opportunistic people who were not after money, but they were after other things, whether it's flight benefits or like you'd be surprised how much
I
I'm
worked
approached
for
for that.
United at one point in time.
I was so you
Yes.
how much
yes.
I'm approached for that. Like, and people are trying to throw money because they're thinking that they're gonna get on this golden nugget list. But at any rate, it is amazing how many opportunists are out there and how shady they are.
It's sad though, because I mean a lot of times people are going after stuff and they're going after what they see. And people, you know, rightfully or wrongfully, tend to exaggerate the nature of what they can get from you. If I'm a millionaire, I probably only have $20,000 or $30,000 liquid that I could, you know, trick off. And if somebody is after me and they're trying to do some $1 million stuff, what they're looking for is not even there. You know, and a lot of times people are seeking out things, and if they just ask a person for it, they would do it.
Right, I totally agree.
Yeah, but sometimes if you keep asking people for things, they may view you as,
An opportunity.
yeah, you know, I mean, but those people can navigate their whole life and not realize that's who they are.
And that
They
was
don't. They just
that,
feel like it's an opportunity and they're not, you know,
that,
but
that
you
was
can only tell me no.
that was the point that I was actually going to get to, because I mean you said it earlier. You said I wasn't raised that way,
Mm-hmm.
and some people, you know, are raised the right way and still, you know, find that path. But certain people, they are just, you know, quote unquote opportunists, and they don't know any other way. They don't see anything wrong with it.
Right.
Because some people weren't raised in love; they were raised in survival. So all they know is I gotta get ahead. I got whatever you got. I want some.
But in my eyes, you know, some of the people that I've met like that, and I don't want to characterize them, but they are thriving in their own ways. You know, they don't, the stuff that they're going after, you know, the juice is not worth the squeeze. What they're putting into it is not worth what they're getting out of it. And that's truly sad, because all that time and energy that person is spending doing those things, they could get their own
Yeah. I
in
mean,
some cases.
you can say that in a relationship. Somebody who is, you know, involved with somebody else's person and they're putting all this extra effort into this person and they just put that energy into somebody else, they can have their own person.
Right.
I mean, like you said, the juice isn't worth the squeeze. I can see how that could be. Doesn't necessarily have to be money, doesn't have to be a relationship, it could be anything. But I feel that anything that you keep doing over and over again is becoming a part of your DNA. You are morphing into
But
maybe an opportunist. Even if you don't realize it, you are becoming that.
It's sad for women in this way, and I've seen this play out a lot of times that, I'll refer to this person or persons as grifters. They're just trying to, hang out and suck out whatever they can. But grifting is a young person's game, whether it's men or women. It's, especially though for women, it's hard, you can get a lot more at 20, 30, 40 years old than you can at 50, 60.
Yeah, I can see that.
And
Because of looks, because of the package.
because of the things that you're willing to do. I mean, invariably, as you get older, it's just stuff that you're not willing to do. And it's always the younger person that's younger and nastier that'll do more stuff and has more features.
I don't know. I know some old nasty people too.
But
You know some old nasty hoes, don't you?
I'm not gonna characterize anybody like that. But what I will say is that I've seen them, and they have to try harder. I mean, I've seen people that have gone. I've seen them go through their 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s, and now they're 60s. They're playing to a different audience.
Yeah.
The audience was much broader in their 20s. Everybody wanted a part of it in the 20s and 30s. Now, in the 40s, not so much. In the 50s, okay, you got 3 or 4. But now, where they were the life of everything and they were, plugged into everything, they're trying. And it's sad because you see them, I mean, I don't know, because I'll end up telling somebody's name.
Don't tell their names.
Please.
But you see them and you know that there was a point in their life when they didn't have to be like that.
Yeah.
And now they're almost desperate. They're throwing Hail Marys. They're doing stuff, and you're like, ooh.
So.
That's so wrong.
Okay, I'm over here rapping Tupac Hail Mary. Go ahead.
No, that was it for me.
So let's just say that you got into a relationship with someone and you felt like the pattern looks like they may be an opportunist. But outside of the fact that they beg or slash drive in, whatever it is they do to get what they want, doesn't sit well with you. Do you say?
Oh, I'm saying.
You saying it. But are you getting rid of? Are you getting rid of them? Or are you gonna be like, oh no?
I mean, I'm not gonna
You gotta
just
do all
ghost
that.
you, but I'm gonna let you know. And if you continue that pattern of behavior, then this is not something for me.
So you wouldn't just ghost them. You would say,
You would call them out on their behavior.
I don't have a lot of time left, so I'm making the most of my time. And I mean, something that I want to say, anytime I've held back stuff that really was on my heart like that, it led to some unhealthy behavior. Whether it was just me pulling away from that person, whether it was me feeling provocated and whatever BS I got on after that, it just wasn't something that was healthy for me. And I'm saying it like I've been to counseling, like my counselor told me this. And it's just something that I've realized over time that I just don't have time for it.
just say what it is.
I'm with
And
you.
then if it ends up being a closure conversation, then that's what it is. But at least everybody's on the same page. You know why.
I
You
feel
know what
the
it
same
is.
way. Just say what it is.
Hey, this is what it is. Deal with it or don't. And it's been better that way. I have been a better person because I've carried stuff around with me, and it's like luggage. You carrying that luggage around. It's a burden. And that person, sometimes, like you say, they may not even know that they're doing it.
Do you know men who are in unknowingly transactional relationships?
Absolutely. I know people that butted people in line to be the person that was giving that person something. So, I mean, it's all different types of people out here. It's people that want to do it. It's people that want to be tricked into doing it. It's people that feel better about themselves because they did it. And it's people that, hey, got it. So, it's, that's just the cost. That's the entry fee. That's table stakes. That's what it is to play the game.
And so you do know men that are quite fine with a woman just asking them for things, because apparently
Almost named 3 people just like I almost spit it out.
Whatever it is, they're like, okay.
Not whatever, but man, they do it, and then it becomes conditional. Okay, it's tit for tat.
Mm-hmm.
I did this, so I need you to do that.
Transaction.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Do those men lead with what they have?
Let me say this about men. There are braggarts,
Mm-hmm.
and braggarts tend to not have any of the stuff that they say.
I agree.
And then there are people who will, they show you the accoutrements of what they have. And so they say it without saying it. So, that's, I'm going to give an example. That's the guy with the pinky ring. What you talking about, baby? What you need? That's that dude.
That's a pimp named Slick. That's who you just said.
But it might be the guy that's flashing the rollie. It might be the guy that rolls up in the lamb. So I mean, if you really actually have it, there are ways that you can show a person.
Or maybe you don't. Maybe you don't have to.
I'm saying for the person that does.
Okay. Yeah.
So there are people that they are comfortable being that person, and they
being the benefactor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they know how to, they know how to let you know that man, they're ready to pay to play.
Mm.
Well, if they let you know right away, that's kind of like, I don't know. It feels like, sounds like, smells like prostitution.
Well, any transactional relationship to me is kind of.
I mean, prostitution.
Teetering on that.
Yeah.
And even though it's not always financial, the financial gain, it could be to keep a job. It's still transactional. It's still.
Prostitution is a very big word.
It is.
It's loaded, yeah.
And so, I mean, we grew up during that time where, man, it was nothing for me to pay and get someone's hair and nails done. Okay, yeah, go back, leave me alone.
Well, hair and nails don't cost what it did back in the day. Like, nails used to be $25 and hair used to be at the most $80. Now nails are $80 and hair
$80.
Oh, see, I don't know.
Some women are paying $200 to $500 for nails because they get those long and they're
and hair is like $300 to $500.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
I get that.
Or
which is
$1,400.
which speaks to why I'm probably out of the game at this point. But within that, I mean, I know people. I've been around. I've been that guy that okay, I'm gonna do that, but I'm gonna need you to do this.
Yeah. God, that just that can't be like a meaningful relationship. But then we're not talking about meaningful relationships. We're talking about dating.
But maybe it is meaningful for the guy who feels like he needs to do all of that to have a woman or keep a woman.
Yeah.
He may, be playing with small decks. You can change the valve if you want to, right? He can be.
I can't speak for that population. I mean, I'm sure they exist, but people do different things for different reasons. People do things that I agree with. People do things that I don't. And I've seen people that look at providing things as just it's just this how they get down because I don't want to invest other things. I don't want to invest time. So hey, I'm gonna throw some money at it. And here, boom, 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 all your nails, all right, boom, I got that. Okay, now I need you to do what I need you to do. And it's not always sex, like, hey, I need your company, so man, if we going out, you gotta get your hair done, okay, here, I zelled it to you, boom.
I wash my car and my clothes.
I mean, man, that's what you should. That's what they should be getting out. That's what they should be getting out of these women. Man, wash my car. Do some stuff that's gonna really help me. Because I mean, just looking good on my arm, I'm sure it has value. It doesn't have that value to me.
Well, you made a comment. You said the more money you make, the richer you are, the more competitive things get. And I think that when you're talking about a multi-millionaire, they're not looking to meet a another boss who's a multimillionaire. I mean, they might be, but I think at that point they just want somebody to melt into their life and
Just be real with
just be there, right?
Right.
And look good. You probably don't even have to talk much. Maybe when spoken to. I just,
I mean, for me, I'll talk about me, and I mean, certainly I'm not rich by any stretch of the imagination, but there have been times in my life where, man, I just needed somebody to be around, and I was willing to, man, I was willing to do what I had to do to make that happen. But I mean, you have to offer me more than just looking good. That's not enough.
you need to hit Hillary Clinton.
Shouldn't be enough.
I mean, I've told you all the story
Did you
about.
say you need a Hillary Clinton?
Right, is that what you need? Right.
A
You
Hillary
need
Clinton?
you need a brain, you need,
No, the pantsuits and Hillary.
See, that's right.
Hey, the pantsuits took me
The
out.
kitten heels.
Right.
What's wrong with her kitten heels?
But I've told you.
Yeah. You're team kitten. I'm
Right.
like, I'm team lion. I need a big heel.
But I've told you all the
Kitten
girl.
heels.
I've told you all the story about the young lady that I went out with, and she was extremely beautiful. I mean, she had a body built for sin. I mean, this girl was working. And we went to see the premiere of The Lion King. Don't ask me why. I was getting a lot of passes back in those days, and we went.
Oh, the movie. I thought you meant the theater
The
production.
movie.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so we go to see the movie, and she couldn't keep up. She was like, who is Simba's father? And I'm like, oh my god, oh my god.
She said, who is Simba's father?
Yeah.
All right.
So she was a beautiful fool.
I mean,
She's slow.
I don't even know how to characterize her other than it was very painful, hour and 48 minutes of watching that movie with
Oh
her.
my God.
And I was, man, I mean, she did look good though. She looked great.
But
But man,
clearly it didn't last.
I mean, what relationship ever lasted? You know what I'm saying? I mean,
She's like,
Oh my God. You're like, what's lasting anyway?
I mean, that hasn't been my history. I'm not knocking the process of lasting. I want that. I hope for that.
whether it's 2 weeks, 2 years, what lasts?
It hasn't been my history. I mean, I would not be truthful. What lasted? Am I, dating a person that I dated 8 years ago? No.
Okay. That's true.
But there are reasons why things didn't last, whether they were
If
you
they
or
would
her.
just drop the restraining order, no, I'm just kidding.
Stop being petty.
Right.
Oh my God.
Get all sensitive about
Who
arson and
cares she
stuff.
couldn't read, right?
But seriously, and I know I want to say that domestic violence is a very horrible thing and it should never, no
We're not making light of it.
Yes, at all. But in those situations, you kind of find your way. For me, I grew through it.
Okay.
I wish that it were something that somebody could have told me, and I listened and got better, but it didn't happen like that.
Well,
So she asked you, the girl who couldn't read, and she thought Simba was a dog.
Oh, I got her hair and
Did
nails done that day. What are you talking about? I did.
okay, so how does she fit into this opportunistic dating scheme? Was she an opportunist or were you the opportunist because you were dating her because she was
Oh, I was
Uber
definitely
beautiful.
the opportunist. I was dating her for her beauty.
okay?
And she looked great on my arms. And I mean, she was great until you talked to her.
Right.
You're like, just hush, babe. Say nothing.
Like, I'm gonna get you
So
some.
you enjoyed the opportunity while it lasted, while you could stomach it.
Again, I was in a different place in my life, so it was what I thought I needed.
Okay.
How long did that last, just out of curiosity now?
I mean, we went to. I think it was at the premiere of Malcolm X, and she was the one that got up at the end and said, "Oh my God, he's dead," and I was like, "Oh Lord." I was trying to hit the invisible or disappear button, and neither of them were working.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, that was kind of the beginning of the end.
She got a pass when she, was at the Lion King.
children's movie. You know, who knew? I don't even. I didn't have no kids. I don't
Civil
know
rights
these people.
movie.
Right. Oh my gosh.
Really catch up.
No, I mean, funny story, true
Were
story.
you dating somebody who didn't know Malcolm X was
Yeah.
deceased?
We went to the premiere.
was
She
like,
was like, oh my God. And what was even worse was that Roger Ebert was sitting behind us. So throughout the whole movie, he's like, that's 1959, because he's married to a black
Right,
woman.
right.
And so he knows it, and he's versed, and he's doing all of this stuff. So I'm kind of feeling embarrassed, because real talk, he knew more than I did. He's like, no, that's Mecca. You know,
He's talking through the movie?
he's talking to his girl, but I hear.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, okay, you know, I gotta read that autobiography. I'm gonna read. And she got up and said that, and I just wanted to disappear. I was like, oh.
Oh, okay.
I would have been like, girl, you're so funny. Sit down.
It's one of those things, and you know, it's rare to catch me when I have a lack of words.
Right. She called you.
She got me. I mean, it was more than just caught. You know, it was like I just sat there like, oh Lord.
But you were an opportunist, so that's what you
Right.
that's what you
That's
that's
what
what
you
you asked for.
Yeah.
You asked to be on
That's
the,
what you
know,
needed at the
to,
time.
to be on the arm of this beautiful woman, and that's what you got.
And that I think that definitely accelerated my growth from being an opportunist.
Okay.
All right.
Well, let us know your thoughts. Have you been an opportunist? Have you dated an opportunist?
Mm-hmm.
How'd that work out? Please share. We do have a few people who always share, and thank you for that.
Yes, we do.
Thank you. What's his name? Keith Bibbs. I think he's always sharing his
Yeah,
thoughts.
and he's very insightful guy too.
Very insightful. We love people who share their thoughts, so thank you so much for that, for tuning in. And for those of you who are
New to our channel.
yes, please share your thoughts. We like to keep the conversations going.
Yeah. I mean, this is something that I think women and men probably have very different perspectives on, so we like to hear what you have to say, and yeah.
Absolutely. So thank you. We'll see you September 28th.
Saturday. We'll let you know the time, the place, and all that good stuff.
Thank you again for tuning in.
All right.
Have a good night, everybody.
See you next week. I think up top might.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. And we gotta press end.